Hey everybody, welcome to our Sunday night team Zoom call. I am so excited to have this call tonight with, I just think they're the triple threat, Cheryl, Rossi, and Bridget on Instagram, and just covering all things Instagram because we are network marketers, right? And we want to have more than one network that we can market to. And I feel like Instagram is an untapped market. Bridget talks about this constantly, how it's, she's built the majority of her business on Instagram. Cheryl recruits like crazy off Instagram and hashtags. Rossi, the same thing, and she does it so beautifully. She gets organic followers that are following her for her. So I'm just so excited for this call so I can learn, because I feel like I have Facebook down. It's, just second nature to me, but Instagram for me is a little like scary. So I'm ready to get outside my comfort zone and work Instagram like these three do and just grow my business even more. So I'm just going to go ahead and hand it off to Rossi, and then she's going to hand it off to Cheryl, and then Cheryl's going to hand it off to Bridget, and then we'll open it up for questions at the end. So if everybody can just make sure that they are on mute, and we'll go ahead and get started with Rossi. I'm so excited. Thank you for being on this call tonight, ladies.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. I love Instagram, and probably 95% of my Plexus business has been built through Instagram. So it's a huge, incredible tool, and there's no right way to do it, but there is a lot of wrong ways to do it. And so that's kind of what we're going to throw out here, hopefully, are some ideas to help you do it the right way, and or one of the right ways. There will be lots of different examples. So when I started my Plexus business, I did have a little bit of an Instagram following, just because we had some different lifestyle things that I kind of learned and honed in on the fact that when somebody follows you, they're following you for a specific reason. And so narrowing my Instagram down so that I was focusing on a few key things. So when you look at different Instagram accounts, I have certain people that I follow and that I think of that come to my mind when I'm bringing this up. The smaller your kind of network is on Instagram, the more followers you're going to have. So you want to keep what you're doing or what you're putting out there kind of at a minimum. We like to say, and I've heard Cheryl say it too, kind of having 3 topics that you're putting out there all the time on Instagram. So think of, like, I have Hand Lettered Truth is one that I think of, and she has, probably close to 1 million followers. She's my friend, and she built that following in a year, went to a million followers. And that's because she honed in on calligraphy. That's all she posts on Hand Lettered Truth is calligraphy. So it's funny how that works. When you narrow down your what you're putting out there, your network of people that follow you is going to grow. So if you have 1 million things on your Facebook, if it's so busy, people aren't going to follow you. You want to kind of outreach and network the people that you have a common interest with, but you're going to have to get rid of, because you're thinking of it as a business rather than just, a blurb of your life all the time. You have to be business minded about it. And that means that you kind of have to get rid of all the wasteful things. Not that it's wasteful, it's my family and it's my life, and none of it's wasteful to me. But for the purpose of business and network marketing, I have to clean it up a little bit. I have to get rid of some of the things that are going to make it a little too busy or a little too messy. So aesthetic is a big thing. I have my daughter, Gabrielle, sitting in here with me. I'm like, you don't have to get on the screen, but help me remember things if I forget. Because if you have a teenager, if you have a young person close and handy, use them. That's why I have been able to grow a little bit with, because I'm asking her constantly how to do certain things. And aesthetic is huge for that younger generation. They want to see nice pictures. They want to see clean pictures and clean lines, and sometimes the abstract and so aesthetic is huge. And I didn't even know what that word meant until Gabrielle was like, Rossi, or Mom, you've got to change up your aesthetic. And so we worked on that a little bit. So a few things you want to ask yourself when you're talking about aesthetic. If you guys don't follow me, you can go and take a look. I'm My Life in the Circus on Instagram, just one word, no spaces or anything. And you'll see that, I mean, if you scroll down even a few months, you'll see that I've been cleaning it up and cleaning it up and cleaning it up and kind of streamlining it. And you have to ask yourself, what is my look? What is the look I'm going for? And then you have to develop that look. So one of the things, and something we used to tell people was, go and look at so-and-so's page and just copy what they do. Don't do that. You don't want to copy. You don't have to copy anybody else. What you have, your life, your story, it's good enough. You might just have to streamline it a bit and add some descriptive words and, edit your pictures a little bit, but it is good enough. You are good enough. What you can do is go to different feeds or different Instagram accounts that you like and try to use some of the things that they, pay attention to, how they're posting and what they're posting and what people seem to like, which posts they like about that person. And you can mimic some of those qualities and kind of paste it to your life or use your life and work around your pictures. So develop your look, streamline your look, narrow it down to 3 main things. When you come to my page, hopefully you're going to see farm life, photography, and homeschooling. They're kind of my 3 avenues that I use all the time. Every once in a while I'll stray off a little bit, but not very often. So I keep streamlining that. I keep editing my pictures to kind of make my look more, I don't know what the word I'm trying to use, just more me, a clean version of me. You want to be me. I'm being me flamboyantly and kind of making that my look. So a couple of the apps that I use for my aesthetic is an app called Instasize. So the reason I like this app, if you go to my page, you'll see that I have the white borders. I did a lot of different trial and errors on white borders and how to get that, and I really like the look of it. I like when I go, it's pleasing to my eye when I go to somebody's feed and they kind of have borders and you see it just cleans things up. And it doesn't fill the screen, and so you have a little bit of space and breathing room. So Instasize is what I use, and I put my borders on there. The main reason I do it like that is because it does not mess with my image. It doesn't make the pixels big or anything like that. It keeps my image the same, and it also has a direct link to Instagram. So I can directly take that picture to Instagram. And so it's an very easy app for me to use. That's one of the reasons I use the Instasize. It's just a white box with the circle in it when you're looking for that app. Sometimes I want to create a feel with my picture, not just that clean white border. You'll notice on some of my pictures it will look kind of whimsical or whatever, and that's the filters that we're adding. So before I go to Instasize, if I want to create a look or a feel with my picture, the app that I always go to is Afterlight. And it's kind of a black box with a rainbow circle in it. And there's all different filters in there. So you'll want to do that first and edit your whole picture first if you want to create a certain feel with your picture. And then you will send your picture or save your picture. You can do it however is easiest to Instasize, and then from Instasize to Instagram. And it'll start to get easy. It sounds like a lot of work, but it gets easier. One of the things Gabrielle taught, so that's kind of what I was going to say on aesthetic. I won't take up too much time because I know I can't wait to hear what Cheryl and Bridget have to say too. So I'll move on for aesthetic. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in chat or afterwards. So bookmarking, when I say go to different pages and get inspiration or see what you like about a certain thing or picture what you see in a feed and you like that, you use that as inspiration to what you're going to post. But you don't want to have to go and look for a post every time. And, today I wanted to post a picture, and I did it. You guys can go on there. It's my kids holding up love in sign language. But before that, I had bookmarked, well, Gabrielle just told me what I did because I didn't even know what I did. But there's a bookmark on your Instagram. And what you can do is when you see somebody's picture and you're like, oh, that's a great picture, I want to use that sometime, or I want to do something similar sometime, you're going to bookmark that picture. It looks like a little upside down kind of flag. You're going to bookmark that. Nobody else can see what you've bookmarked. It's like your inspiration page. So then when you go to your Instagram page, you're going to see that little bookmark symbol. You're going to click on that and you'll be able to see all your inspiring posts that you've seen through the course of scrolling through your feed. So utilize that, and that's a great place to get that inspiration. But again, don't copy somebody else's life. Don't try to mimic what somebody else is doing to a T. Your story is good enough. Your life is good enough. Your family's good enough. Your house is good enough. It's all good enough. You're just going to have to richen it up a little bit. So that bookmark thing. Hashtags. Hashtags are huge, and it is one of the ways to help you get those organic followers is by using hashtags specific to what you're posting or your avenues that you're using. So I use the HashMe app, HashMe app, and you can go there and write in a word. So for instance, one of my avenues is farm. I'll type in farm, click on it, and it will give me the top 30 hashtags used for farm. And so I'll pick whichever ones are my favorites, and then I'll add some extra ones. Ones you're always going to want to use when using hashtags is Insta-like, photo of the day, pick of the day, Insta-love, Insta-good. Those are all billions of people are going to come and look at your page. So I always include those ones on mine. It just gets that people coming to your page more often. The other tip I use with hashtags, who has time to go and make sure you get all the hashtags that you need? Since I have 3 main avenues, I keep my hashtags. I'll try different combinations and see what will bring about the most likes on a certain picture. And then I'll save that grouping and copy and paste it to my notes. That way the next time I post a farm picture, I can go into my notes and grab those hashtags that I already used and I already know that they work, and I can copy and paste them straight to my picture. Okay, Mom asked, what are the hashtags to always use? Anything with Insta, I-N-S-T-A in the beginning. So Insta-good, Insta-like, Insta-photo, Instagram, those are all great ones to use. And then pick of the day, P-I-C of the day, and photo of the day. Those ones are good to use on every single picture. It's a surefire way to get some likes, some extra likes on your pictures. Let's see. Branding. You guys hear us all talk about branding, and that has to do with picking those different avenues that you use in your life. So, I said mine are homeschooling, photography, and farm life. Pick your brands, pick your 3 brands, and start simplifying them and thinking of this more business-minded and not so much just splashing your life. Be creative. And if you're lacking creative, go to that bookmarking page to get some inspiration. But make sure you're streamlining. I mean, think of when you think of branding, you're thinking of, Gap or Old Navy or whatever. If it was super busy, you kind of know what you're going to get when you walk into a Old Navy or a Gap store simply because of the way they've branded themselves. You want that same feel when people are coming to your page. They know what they're going to get, and they're going to keep getting that stuff because that's why they followed you in the first place. So work on that brand, simplifying that brand, and then I hear all the time, my life is boring. I don't have anything special. I'm not vibrant and colorful like so-and-so. I can't say it enough. Your story is good enough. Look up Kendra Hall if you haven't already heard of her. She has a great way of sharing how to share your story, how to tell your story. But even before Kendra Hall, I like to write. And that's one of the reasons I think people come to my feed is to read the different things that I write. Sometimes it's controversial, sometimes they like it, sometimes they hate it, but it's still, even tonight, I posted something about my kids being best friends, and I can anticipate somebody's not going to agree with something. Sure enough, somebody who doesn't even follow me, but comes to my page just to check up on me, came tonight and left a comment, right? So I anticipate those things coming, but that's why they're coming back. That's why she came back. She knew that eventually I was going to post something controversial, or it's not even controversial. It was about making your kids best friends, but she has a hard time with that. Anyway, it comes back to that thing, like they come to your page for a specific reason. So when you're telling your story, you don't have to fluff it up. I think Gina and I had this conversation. You don't have to fluff it up. You don't have to exaggerate, but use descriptive words. I have said before, I'm not just posting a picture of my red car. I'm posting a picture of my candy apple red car that reminds me of the truck that my grandpa drove in the parade when I was 5 years old, and sometimes he would stop and let us climb inside of it and ride with him. That's the red car I'm posting about. Use descriptive words to tell your story. That will bring out a lot more and will bring people back to your page. When all else fails, go and get a quote, a famous quote. Edit your picture clean and make it pretty. That will always bring people. Grab quotes. Again, homeschooling is my avenue, so you will see lots of homeschooling quotes, or you'll see lots of farm or nature quotes, because that's my avenue. Try to keep those things, bringing them into your avenues and your brand that you're trying to set. But a quote goes a long ways with a cute picture. Also, what do you have to offer? I like to offer printables and shareables and websites or whatever, but you don't have to offer like something you created. Offer the things that are making a difference in your life, or a good book, or just things they're going to come back to get something from you. That's what, bottom line, when it comes to business, people are out for what's in it for me. What do I get? So if you're offering something on your page, whether it be great quotes or homeschool tips, or this book was my last book and it changed my life, and this is a little excerpt from it, they want to get something from you. When you have these organic followers, and I have a couple other tips, but they kind of take a long time to explain. But when you have these organic followers that are following you for your brand, for what you represent, and for what you stand for, those are the people that are going to tolerate your Plexus posts. They're the ones who are going to, they might just breeze right past your Plexus post and not even like give it a second thought, because they've been coming to your page and you've been offering them your lifestyle and putting yourself out there and making yourself vulnerable for them. They're going to look past those Plexus posts, or, which is what happened to me, they're going to say, okay, I've been following this girl for a long time, and we have common interests, and now she's sharing about Plexus. I need to know what that's all about. That's what you want. You want those organic followers that are going to either tolerate your Plexus posts or ask you what this is. This is your business. So anyway, that's kind of what I have written down for here. I don't want to monopolize all the time, so I know I already took quite a few minutes, but so I will turn it over to Cheryl, who I'm so excited. I have my pen ready for her. Welcome, Cheryl. Thank you for sharing with us.
Oh my goodness, I wrote all over my page so many notes, Miss Rossi. You are incredible, and I'm definitely going to take some of the things that you just taught us and implement it. I was looking through my page right now, just like going off of what you said, trying to edit my page right now. But anyway, thank you so much for having me on this call. I am truly honored. Okay, so I was just going to cover something called stories on Facebook, first and foremost. So this is a new feature that, Instagram is, hold on one second, you guys. Sweetie, I'm on a call, honey. I'm sorry. Give me 5 minutes. Yes, you can. Sorry, mom life. Okay, on Instagram stories, these are going to be at the top of your Instagram page. They're little circle dots, and you're kind of like, what are these? What do I do with them? How do I use them for my Plexus business? Stories are huge because when people push play on that first story, it automatically scrolls through all their friends and all their stories without them having to do anything. So if you have something in a story, you have a way greater chance of someone seeing your story than them just seeing the posts you posted. The way the algorithms work on Instagram, it's starting to be more like Facebook, where the more likes and comments you get, maybe they'll show it to more of your friends, but it's no longer in chronological order as it used to be. So people are missing our posts, but our stories stay up there for 24 hours. And as soon as someone clicks on the stories at the top, they're going to go through and hopefully see your stories. Now, what do you put in your story? Your story can be kind of like actions of what you're doing throughout the day. It can be, you can put business specific stuff in there. You can do your pink drink, and then you can actually like draw on it and write on it and say like, you know, fuel for the day, or there's a little boomerang way to make a video that you can be shaking your pink drink, fun stuff like that. But the idea is your story can actually have, gosh, you can do 10 to 20 pictures on your story in one day, whereas posting on Instagram, you know, proper etiquette for Instagram is like once a day, pushing it 3-4 times a day, like max. If you post like 5 or 6 times a day on Instagram, people are going to stop following you because you're taking up their precious feed and they don't want to see your pictures all day long. You know what I mean? They're going to, especially if it's almost the same picture. So if you have this great picture of your kid at the pool and then your very next picture is your kid at the pool because you're like, oh, it's just so cute. No. Instagram is like the highlight reel. You pick one good picture and you put it on there. But in your story, you can film the kid running at the pool, or, you know, if you're at the park or whatever you're at, you can put anything in your story. You have the option to put a picture, or you have the option to film something. And also there's the option where if you are on your story screen, once you click, it's a little camera box up at the top left of your Instagram. You click that. If you slide up on your screen, it'll bring up your camera roll for your last, I want to say, I don't know, 24 hours of photos, or yeah, 24 hours of photos. So you can actually just pick a photo and put it in your story. So if you forgot to, say you took all these great photos at the park and you're like, oh, I should have put it in my story, you have that option still. You can also take screenshots or get pictures from online or quotes, or you can get anything you want and then put it in your story as well. The good thing about the story is you're going to be seen by a lot more people. It's a great chance for you to put your brand out there, to post something fun and exciting, and people go, who am I following? Who is this person? They click on your name and your icon at the top and they'll go check out your page. So stories are great to kind of keep putting your brand out there, get seen by more people. If you don't know what to put in your story, go to the stories and watch them. Find the ones that you find interesting, or the ones where you're like, that was so boring, why would someone post that? Use that to your advantage and start posting stories that you would like, people would like to interact or see, and start posting some stories. These are awesome, you guys. Take advantage of stories, get seen by people, get your brand out there, get your face in their feed, because maybe they just scroll through and they see your face for 2 seconds, but now you're in their subconscious again. And the whole point is to try and get in their mind as much as possible. That's why we comment and like all the time too, right? So anyway, now as far as using stories to connect with other people, when a story is up, you have the option at the bottom. I believe it's 3 little dots. Let me just make sure I have that correct. So there's 3 little, oh no, I'm sorry, at the bottom left, it says send message. You can literally click on that and then write them a message about their story. Now what this does, it takes their picture or their video that they posted and it sends it back to them, and then you write something underneath it. This is different than just cold messaging or sending a message out of the blue. When they see their picture come back to them, something happens, you guys. Something happens where they're like, oh, that's what I posted. Like, it triggers something in their brain where they feel special and important, and it's what they posted. It's themselves, and people are what? Mostly selfish, right? So you sent them their own picture back to them and told them how important it was to them. You basically boosted their ego times 10, and all you have to say is something like, oh my gosh, where were you at? Or, oh, this looks so fun, or I'd love to try it. It could be anything. Just comment on what they posted. And now you can start engaging conversations with them. You can say, like, I posted one of our tortoise, and about 4 or 5 people messaged me and were like, I didn't know you had a tortoise, that's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, bring the kids over anytime. And I'm starting to build these relationships off this story. Whereas I'm not going to fill up my Instagram with pictures of my tortoise because that's not really part of my brand, but I can throw it in my story and it might trigger some other people to actually just have a conversation. Totally non-Plexus, right? But anyone who knows me knows I do Plexus, but now we have another way of connecting with each other, especially because now I'm like, yeah, come over, bring the kids. I might have pink drink out, I don't know. But it's just a good opportunity to build relationships, which you guys, all we are doing is relationships, relationships, relationships. So when people put a story out there, they are inviting you into their life even more than what they do on Facebook and on their Instagram feed. A story is like, this is exactly where I'm at, what I'm doing. Comment, take advantage of that. Send them a message. Tell them how great they look. Tell them you love their nail color, their hair color, their skin looks so clear. Like anything you can think of to comment, send them a message. And I promise you, you're going to be in their head about 10 times more than if you just pass by. So if you're not doing stories, you're not taking advantage of this that we have, jump on it and start doing it, and you'll see more interaction coming up that's not so Plexus based, if that makes sense. Rossi covered a ton of great things. I just want to touch on a couple of things as far as your Instagram. I think she covered most of the things that I follow and do as well. I use a couple different apps, but I think they get us to the exact same part where you're just editing your photos, bright, crisp, clear. The way I like to explain Instagram versus Facebook, Instagram is like your highlight reel. These would be the photos that you frame and put on the wall in your house. Whereas Facebook is more like the family photo album. You can add more photos to Facebook. You can put the 10 photos of your kid at the pool. That's great. Put it on Facebook. But you pick that one great, awesome photo. That's the highlight reel. That's the one that goes on Instagram. There's also an option to share from Instagram straight to Facebook. Some people do this. I choose not to because it doesn't get as much interaction. To me, it feels like when I see someone shared on Instagram and it's on their Facebook, to me, I feel like that's the lazy way of posting the same thing, that I'm like, I already saw that on Instagram. It's like seeing it second or third hand. That's my opinion. It works for some people, that's great. But for me, I'd rather just copy exactly what I wrote, post the photo and post the thing separately on Facebook. Or what I do is I'll just put a different photo. So I'll take the exact same caption that I wrote on Instagram, throw it over on Facebook, put a different photo with it, and call it a day. So people don't feel like they kind of got gypped. They're like, I saw this picture 10 minutes ago on Instagram, and now I'm seeing it right here on Facebook. They're like, oh, a different photo. So maybe they'll read one of the two, right? You never know. So posting on Instagram, I have done where I posted 9, 12, 3, and 6 p.m. every day. And I did that for the past probably 2 months. And I will tell you that it's great for being consistent, and it gets me to remember to get creative, to have more posts. But for Instagram, you don't need to do that. What I found the past week is about 2 posts a day seems to be better for Instagram. You get more likes, and honestly, the whole point is like how many likes you get. That's like the whole popularity thing on Instagram. I'm finding that 2 posts a day works really great on Instagram. Facebook, I'll post 20 times a day. I don't care. I'll post all the time on Facebook. Okay, now how to use Facebook to connect with people and following up with people. I'll do posts sometimes that are literally like calls to action, like looking for a boss babe that wants to change their life. You know, and you can look on my Instagram and see some of those posts I've done. But what I do is if I put one that's like that, I will go and delete it a couple days later, because I don't want my feed to look like I'm like fishing for people and hunting people down, like join my team, join my team. So if I do a call to action, it's usually about like 1 a month, where it's like comment below or, you know, 7-day trial group coming up. If I do that, you'll see a couple days later that post will be gone off my feed, because I don't want that when people come to check out like my feed. And that's like basically it's our cover photo, it's our resume when they go look at our Instagram, especially those first 9 photos. When someone clicks on your Instagram, those top 9 photos is your resume. So you want to make sure those are always bright, clear. They're hitting all the what Ross was saying, like your 3 things that are about you. You want to make sure those are crystal clear in your top 9 photos, and not Plexus graphics all over. Because as soon as they look on you like, oh, do I want to follow this person? And they see a big Plexus graphic with like join my team, they're like, oh nope, salesperson block, don't want to be their friend. So but if they go and they see, like, for example, Rossi, they see, oh, homeschooling mom, what's she doing? She's drinking some pink drink. Okay, I'll follow her. And they have no idea that she's, you know, they want to learn more about her. They want to see what her life is about. So that's kind of how our thing works. So if I have on my top thing, like join my team, sign up here, I try to make those come and go as fast as possible. But I'll tell you what, I've gotten people from that. And as soon as anyone likes or comments on any of your Plexus posts, those people go on your master Franks list. and you start conversations with them and you engage with them and you just say, hey, thanks so much for the love of my Plexus post. Every like helps boost Plexus. Have you ever tried it before? Simple, 3-sentence maximum. You don't want to vomit Plexus on them. 3 sentences, start a conversation. Majority of the time they might say, yeah, no thanks, I'm good, or you're welcome, I'm good. But if they're like, oh no, I haven't heard of it, you can start a conversation. Or if they're like, yeah, you're welcome, that's great. You can keep conversations going, whatever, but they're still on my follow-up list. So every once in a while, I'm like checking in with them, like, hey girl, just checking on you, you know, anything I can comment on for them. And then what I do is I personally pick through like my master list. I have like hundreds of people on this list. It's kind of ridiculous, but I'll pick through because I'll go on my Instagram. I want to be very intentional with my time when I'm on there. So like for this week, I have my list. I don't know if you guys can see this. So here's my list for this week of all the Instagram people I'm going to make sure I hit up this week. And I have the date up here in columns for every day. So tomorrow, I don't have to think about it. I go to Instagram, I go to all these people's pages, and I comment and like. And when you go to their page, you can see at the top circle their story. If it has a ring around it, that means they have a story. Watch their story, comment on their story. And that's what I do every day. And what you'll find is most people don't post every single day on Instagram. So it's not really as much work as it looks like. This can take, you know, between 20 to 30 minutes max. But once you get, you know, kind of used to it and you go look, same picture from yesterday, you don't have to really do it. You can't comment again on the same photo. So, but this is how I kind of keep my focus, because sometimes we'll go on Instagram and it's so overwhelming. You're following like 1,000 people. You're like, I just comment and like on everything and I don't know what to do with this. So I get really intentional with this, and this almost becomes like my goal list of like who like my dream team list. So I'll notice when I'm going and doing this intentionally, if I'm like see posts and I'm like, they really wouldn't fit in with my team, and they start like cussing a bunch in a post, I'm like, okay, you're off the list. Like this is how I really get to know them too. And this is how I pull out like my top 5 or 10 where I'm like, these are my dream team ones, and they get carried over to the next week. So the ones at the top of this list, those are the ones I've literally been following up with months. Now they're at the top of my list. So I'm like, all right, I'm still on them because they've either commented before or they've hinted that they need Plexus or that they kind of want to be in it. And so they're like at my top, and I want to make sure I'm actually being a very good friend on Instagram to them with the commenting and the liking. Okay, I don't want to take up too much time because I know we're all waiting for Miss Bridget to come on and share her waves with us, but I can address any questions at the end as well, and I hope I covered enough for you guys to help you with your businesses. So without further ado, let's get to it. The one and only Miss Bridget Ryan.
Hey guys, oh my gosh, I love it. You know, thank you Cheryl, thank you Rossi. You guys know Instagram is my jam. It is my thing. I love it. I've built probably 90% of my business from Instagram. I didn't really know what I was doing. I'm kind of an accidental brand, an accidental Instagrammer, but I love it. It works for me, and I found out what works. And so a couple things I feel like I need to throw a disclaimer out there because we can spend all this time, right, thinking of the best post, putting it to this app, then this app, and then this app. Now it's ready to go. Do not do this. Is, if anything else, you guys, a post on Instagram or Facebook is not going to get you to the top. It's what you do in those private messages that is going to get you to the top. So you guys see a little bit of what I post, maybe a little bit of my stories, a little bit on Facebook, but it's the hundreds of messages that I'm having privately that is getting me to the top or got me to the diamond in a year. But it is the potentials that you can get through tools that Rossi and Cheryl have shared. And I have grown my potential list. I have a 90-day rule, okay? I love, you know, what Cheryl said, relationships. That's exactly what we're doing. We have a tool, so many tools. In fact, I'm on my phone right now. A lot of you guys know I work most of my business from my phone, even though I have my computer right in front of me. I just feel comfortable on it. It's easy to work. And, you know, millions of people at our fingertips. And so these are just other tools that we can use to enhance a way of growing our network. And so I have another tool I want to share with you guys tonight on how I've used these tools that Cheryl and Rossi have done. And then I've even used another tool to kind of enhance that. So a lot of you know that my Facebook, yes, 4 million Instagram users. There is so many people on Instagram, and a lot of you know that Facebook owns Instagram. Where Facebook, I feel, is getting a little bit saturated when it comes to the sales, marketing, and branding over here. Where Instagram, I'm getting people daily that have never heard of Plexus. So I feel like it's such a wide open door over here in Instagram. Okay, so I love Cheryl, how she talked about being intentional. That is so important, to be intentional on who you're going after in a way. Hashtags, yes, I'm kind of covering a little bit of what they said. I love how Rossi was saying, tell your story, be you, don't be me, don't be her, be you. Facts tell, but stories sell. You know, don't be just putting bottles of probiotic and bags of Slim up. People want a reality show, not an infomercial. So really tell your story. Attract emotionally. You know, I talk a lot about how I've retired my husband. And so you want to kind of hit those emotional spots where moms can be going through, you know, I'd love my husband home more, or I'd love to be a stay-at-home mom. Those are posts that are telling a story, and people are going to follow you for that reason. I love how Cheryl talked about, you know, when you go to your page, first of all, you want to make sure you're public. I know this like foundational training there, but if you're not public, nobody's going to find you. They're not going to find your hashtags. Make sure you're public. Make sure you're you don't have a name like, I know a lot of on our team I see like Pink Plexus Girl or Plexus Florida Girl. Don't do that. People don't, just do something else that's not Plexi or Plexus or Pink Girl. Have something that it's like your resume, your name, your first 9 pictures, and your bio need to be organic, you know, not so salesy, so to speak. Okay, so everything they said, I totally agree with. I love the stories. I love, on top, I'm getting a lot of followers from that. If I click on to see who's watched my story, it's people that don't follow me. So those are a lot of different people who have saw it and go, I want to follow this girl. She looks interesting, okay? And sometimes my stories are so boring and they're just of really nothing. Yesterday it started snowing. I was like, oh yay, it's snowing. You know, sometimes I don't have a lot going on, but I'll make something just to get it up there. Okay, so becoming a public figure. I want to talk about how I have used this. So you know that I send messages every day like Cheryl does so you gain all these followers. That's the whole point of this call. It's another way to grow your network. Now, what do you do with all these new followers you have? You send them private messages, and you don't send them, hey, want to try Plexus? You know, you're creating that relationship with them. And remember, what you do today, you're not going to see the fruit of till 90 days. You're building a relationship with these people. And I know it seems like, gosh, Bridget, I don't have time to build relationships with strangers online every day. But like Cheryl said, when you make it part of your IPA and you're doing it consistently, it's 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes max where you're just, you know, reaching out and following up, and then the next day you're doing it. So a lot of you know that I signed 6 people on my second leg, 2 people on my first leg, and my husband signed 2 last month. These were all people we did not know, and they were all from Instagram. How did we do that? These were people we had been building relationships with from November, December, and January, finally signing them in February. The people that I'm trying to sign this month, I have 3 new customers and 2 ambassadors on my second leg from Instagram that I've never met. So it is a proven, these are all people I didn't know, you guys, that I have been working on in January and February, and I'm finally signing them in March. So do you get what I'm saying? Don't expect the people that you're reaching out to today and the new followers that you're getting today to sign this month. A 90-day rule, I don't expect. So in my mind, I know, okay, I've got to build that relationship with them. Now, another thing that has really helped me, and it is all organic people, and I know I've shared it on Facebook the other day. Somebody said, I want to know more about your products. I've never heard of Plexus. And I put it out there like, see, there are still people who don't even know the word Plexus. And so these people are finding me through sponsoring, okay? Yes, be patient, not desperate. I love that, Rossi. Okay, so how to become a public figure on Instagram. Like I said, Facebook and Instagram are connected. You create a page, not an account on Facebook. You make your page a public figure account. you connect your IG account to your Facebook account, okay? I don't really run my Facebook public figure account. I just have that really so I can work my Instagram. One day I'll work on that, but right now I'm just overwhelmed with all my emails I get daily from my public figure. Now, when you become a public figure, you can sponsor or promote an ad. So this means it's going to reach even more people than it normally would. So for example, I usually pay to sponsor an ad Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I usually have it run on over the weekend. And I will sponsor it for about $5. And you can pick, okay? So what I do is I will tell a story, and it's usually a picture of my family or of me, of being a mom or something, again, like Rossi said, mine is homeschooling and traveling and motherhood, right? Raising kids. That's usually what I'm sponsoring. So it's a picture of my family or something, again, attraction marketing, a good picture. Then I promote it and I pay about $5, maybe sometimes I'll pay $10 at the most to promote it. Now what that does is it will blast that out to so many people. And then I can see who has organically reached it, what time my followers are active, who's seeing my page that don't follow me, if it's men or women who are seeing mine, what ages they are. Are they 20 through 30s? Are they older? Kind of giving me who my audience is and who's seen my page, how many are seeing it. And one of mine reached like 500K. And that's who saw it. Now with that, I have it linked to my landing page, which I didn't, there's a reason I don't like it going straight to my, my website where I sell Plexus, because I feel like people will go there and get lost and just go, oh no, she's trying to sell me something. No, I want to hear from you, right? I want to build that relationship. So these are people that don't even follow me, and I will send them to this. I don't know if you guys can see, but this is my landing page, okay? It's simple, it's Balanced by Bridget. It doesn't say anything about Plexus on it. It just goes, I'll say, more of my story, link in bio. And I'll have them come to balancedbybridget.com, and on there it'll have, balancing life, faith, family, and business. And then it'll have, what if this could change everything? It has my diamond doc. If you don't have a diamond doc yet, you can do another video, maybe a video of yourself and whatever you want. It doesn't have to be really anything fancy. And then I know Katie Bakari, she's marketing herself as a crunchy mom, holistic, that kind of thing. So she's doing this too, and hers looks a lot different than mine. And she's got maybe some recipes over here and some things over there, so that it tracks people there, right? And then I have Let's Chat. You guys see that? Anyway, Let's Chat, it just has name, email, address, subject, and a message to me. You guys, I get several of these a day. People just saying, saw your story, interested in these products, or I'm a single mom, I'm interested in the business, can you tell me more? And then I can start that relationship with them. And you guys, I get several of these a day. Okay, the landing page is just a website. I did mine through Squarespace, which it cost me $16 a month. I'm sure there is more out there. Rossi, I don't know, I think you have one you did. There's more. If anybody's interested, my son made mine. He could make yours if you want. I know he charges a price, but he can do it if you don't know how. And it's about $16 a month. But I really believe that investing a little bit to boost your posts and get out there is worth it. You could do once a month over a weekend. You could do one day, and so anyways, but it just shows me like who my followers are, what time they're on, and it just reaches people that I probably wouldn't have reached. And therefore, also, it'll show me who my non-following people have seen it. And then that's a way for me, I usually go and message them and say, hey, thank you so much for supporting my business and my life. Yes, you have to be a public figure to sponsor an ad. So that is why you want to, and you can only become a public figure on Instagram if you go through Facebook? I just missed that. Somebody said they did $8 through GoDaddy. Can you type that again? I have missed who that was. Okay, Katie Bakari says, yeah, you need a domain name, which mine is balancedbybridget.com. I don't know. I think that was Katie that says she pays $8 a month for her website. Yeah, $8 a month. So I know that there's other ones out there. And so this goes directly to my email, balancedbybridget@AOL. Okay, and so I get it there and I send it back. Hey, thank you so much. You guys should hear the stories that I get. I'm a single mom, or I live here, or oh, I'm this. Your story touched me. I've been following you, and this was what finally got them. So yes, it's a web page, Darcy. It is not, I don't put anything with my Plexus website on here because people either are going to get lost or they're going to feel like they're just being sold to. Here, I'm listening to them. I'm building that relationship. I come back. A lot of times I say, hey, are you available for a call? And I'll just get them straight on from here to a phone call. Or I'll say, hey, are you on Facebook? How do you become a public figure? That is, you need to create a page on Facebook, not an account. I'm going to go ahead and put this on my team page when I hang up with this, just to put some steps down. That way you guys can find out, okay? But other than that, I think just looking over my notes, I think we like pretty much touched on all of it. This is just another tool, but you guys, you can make the best post. You can sponsor the best ad. You can, do all of this, use all the hashtags. There is the hashtag. But if you're not reaching out and building those relationships through private messenger or phone calls or text messages or emails, your business is not going anywhere. And I know that for a fact. And I can tell you the girls on this team that have gone through the ranks, we have all one thing in common. We work our messages. We work our private messages. We reach out to people. We follow up daily. That is the key. That's behind all of this. So anyway, thank you so much. I'm going to hand it back over to Andrea. And again, Andrea, thank you so much for setting this up.
Yes, thank you all. I have 3 pages of notes right here, and I'm like wired. I didn't even need a second pink drink. I'm just like, okay, I've got some work to do, right? I feel like my business is gonna just go crazy right now because I feel like I definitely got a lot from this, and I'm sure a lot of you did too. Do you want to shake your heads? Yes. Does anybody have any questions besides the ones we already asked? No. Okay. Well, thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Rossi. Thank you, Bridget, for sharing all of this amazing knowledge with us on Instagram. I will upload this to YouTube so we can all kind of share it to our team pages, and anybody can view this later. I'm just so excited for all of this information. I feel so blessed to be a part of such an amazing team who just comes together to do this call, different time zones. Somebody might be in a closet on this call, hiding from their family. So thank you all, and okay, yeah, we can view it later. Yes, Deanna, I'm going to post it on our team page so we can go back, and I'm definitely going to go back and watch it again too. So thank you all. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Rossi. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate you all being on the call, and have a great night. And I can't wait to see everybody's Instagrams in the next week or so.